Those unreasonable words felt like a glimpse of how Kenzo used to be. Oh great, we traded one Kenzo in for another. Natsui couldn't hide a slight surprise at those words, which made it seem as though Kenzo had possessed her husband or something. Natsui told the servants to wait for the time being. She ordered them to sit in a sofa a short distance off, approached her husband and spoke to him in a small voice. Was it really blood, or was he actually being possessed? Cross's disorderly style of speech strongly resembled Kenzo's. As she watched this, Natsui became certain that Cross was Kenzo's son after all. Like there was a doubt. And that he was the true successor to the head, more suitable than any other person. Cross stood up and headed towards the window, trying to lengthen the distance between himself and the servants, waiting on the sofa by even a small amount. Natsui realized that he must have something secret that he wanted to talk about. Yeah, no shit. Come on, dude. Good job. Good job. Of course, this fucking music. Because he fucking screwed up. Are you fucking stupid? Everything. She just smacks the shit out of him. Of course I told you that. Oh my god, dude. When you fucking lose, just take the punch and leave. You're a fucking idiot. Cross claimed to hold honor as a virtue. However, Natsui knew that he most often used this as an excuse when he reluctantly went along with some deal that he just couldn't refuse. Guys, this is another one of those get-rich-quick schemes that you just can't refuse. I mean, come on. Oh. Oops. So I decided to put up more collateral. I decided to go to Vegas and offer up my house. Oh my god. You actually believed them? Everyone always says that. Yeah, that's what you have to plan for. Plan for the worst, expect the worst, but you know, be pleasantly surprised with the good ending. Always plan for the worst. Always plan on bad luck. Even in a 98% chance, I would be hesitant to do it. Oh my god, he is delusional at this point. Yeah, okay. Yeah, and I knew he was full of shit. She did tell him that he was full of shit. Close enough. He has his fucking head up his ass. Oh god, I'm liking Natui more and more because she's actually reasonable. Who didn't screw me over. Oh my god. That's what you said about the whole whole moon tourism thing. You kept saying it was a visionary that looked to the future and that it had high aspirations. And what was the end result? No! Oh my god. He's an idiot. He did not fall for this. Oh, Mr. Sonozaki, really? There's no way Sonozaki would fall for something like that if it's the same one. Yeah, some fucking far-ass time in the future. You're gonna be long dead before then. Because at this point you'd be like 80-something if it was actually real talk. And still got a little while to go for that. I am really liking Natui more now because the more like real and less bullshitty a character is, then it's just that much better in my book. Yeah, and she's not an idiot for wasting money. Tell him. Fucking lay the wood down, holy shit. Fuck you! Yeah, and how much have you made? How much? See, that's all I'd say. That's the final line I would drop. How much money did you make? How much money did you make? Yeah, that's what I fucking thought. Yeah, get back in the fucking kitchen. Take Hideyoshi's advice. Fucking lay into him. Lay into him, Natui. Do it. I want you to so bad. Without another word, Natui fell silent just as Cross had hoped she would. She was already far beyond anger and sadness, and the emotion that lay on the other side of those was an almost indifferent pity. Since the days of his youth, Krause, who had always been frightened of Kenzo, had started to subconsciously admire the way his father lived. I wouldn't. Without realizing, he had come to believe that he would only be recognized as a man in his own way, right if he surpassed his father. However, Kenzo had been a mad genius, in the likes of which who had never been seen in the Uchirimiya family's long history. That talent was a gift from heaven, and it definitely wasn't genetic, much less something that could be learned. This fucking log. To give the two of them a chance to talk alone, Natui told the servants not to tell anyone about Kenzo's death, and they left the room for the time being. God, I wanted Natui just to absolutely drill him. Then she invited Cross to her bedroom. Oh, okay. Can we not? And made him tell her everything about their current financial situation. It's an odd thing to do in her bedroom, but whatever. These were things that Natui hadn't been told about under the assumption that a woman had no business knowing. Natui had herself made a point of avoiding this area in the past, thinking that it wasn't a wife's place to intrude on such matters. However, this might also have meant that she had abandoned her duty as a wife to protect her family. The depths of this sin had been quite clear to Natsui. Cross was probably tired of trying to defend himself. Because he had gotten a headache, he hid his face and sank into silence. Natsui noticed that the water in the electric kettle was boiling and stood up to refill her cup with black tea. And when she touched the cup of the black tea, she noticed for the first time. The sound of the cup and saucer clicking together told her that her fingers were shaking. Cross had built up a large debt to obtain funds for various projects and to cover the losses when they failed. I.e., she's really fucking pissed. Of course, he'd put the mansion and property up as collateral. Never fucking do that, never. Business 101 or, like, you know, trading at any kind of collateral. Never put your property up for collateral if you can avoid it. Never do it. It's not worth it. You're gonna get fucked in the ass. He's lucky he hasn't lost it yet. However, doing such a thing above board would result in the mortgage being registered. In other words, there would be a record that Krause had put Kinzo's wealth up as collateral to obtain a loan without anyone's permission. Kinzo, Ava, and the others must not learn of such a thing. Therefore, Krause had been putting those assets up as collateral using the worst kind of possible method. You idiot! Oh my god. Why? To who? That's when I'd smack the shit out of him. You are an idiot. That's the worst thing you could do in this situation. What Cross was saying probably meant that he had, in essence, signed away the rights to his assets. Yeah. He did. If those assets had been used as collateral for a loan, then Cross would still have some leeway under the law. You do it under the table, you're fucked. You lose everything. He would have had to deal with a bank which would have absolutely no compassion, but they would be able to work something out within the rules set by society. However, signing away the deed and power of attorney was a whole different story. Yeah. In other words, even the mansion they were living in, it technically doesn't belong to him. If the person holding the deed were to decide to ignore his agreement with Krause, and to sell the mansion to a third party right this moment, they would have no recourse whatsoever. Yeah. Far from using collateral for a loan, this was basically the same as selling their house to borrow money. Yeah, and selling power of attorney as well. Which gives them actual rights over, you know, the Kinzo's stuff. What? No, why would you do that? Don't care. Take the loss. Take the fucking L. Do it. It's not worth it, man. You're an idiot. Yeah, whenever they please, they can absolutely bankrupt you. Or, you know, force you to go homeless. You're fucked. They could fucking sell it for 10 cents. And you guys are fucked. You might have 30 days. That's what you said about the other people that didn't screw you. Okay. I would be shopping that mansion around, let's be real here. If I was in that situation, I wouldn't want to. But if it doesn't look like I'm going to make any money off of this shit, I'd be looking to just dump the house. And make as much money back as I could. Because this guy's not going to... If I'm really looking at this and he's that desperate, yeah, I'll lend him the money. But I know I probably won't get it back. So I'd be looking to shop it. You're an idiot. I wouldn't trust anyone with that. Hell, I wouldn't trust myself. And if you don't, they'll sell your house for a profit. You're an idiot. I don't care if you have 100% confidence in you, you don't sign that stuff away. If your business had been successful, we wouldn't be in debt now, would we? God, Natsui just absolutely lay into him. I would love it. Natsui, you barely stopped yourself from saying that. God, I love Natsui right now. Oh my god. He really just needs to actually just let him have it. You need to do that. Because there's no other way to get through to him if you don't just lay into him and let him have it and be like, you're a fucking idiot. The whole issues of this is because you don't know when to stop. Sometimes you're just gonna lose. Yeah. Well, unless, of course, you hide the debt of the body, which apparently you do. Yeah. Because you did really shady practices. What? There's more? Tell me he's not money laundering. Please tell me he's not money laundering. Actually, most likely with these deals, he's probably doing offshore accounts and shit like that to get transfers across. So yeah, he probably is breaking laws in that sense. I don't know how Japan's laws against overseas money works. But he's probably doing that in that sense. Like to get around like regulations and shit like that. He probably is. Oh my god. Dude. It's not worth it. Know when to quit. Cross looked at the floor shamefully, shaking his head over and over. If it would have come to criminal charges, then he must have broken some laws. Yeah, that's what it means. He had probably been so insistent on raising a large sum of money that he hadn't paid any heed to appearances. Cross had seriously believed that he would succeed with several businesses and that he would definitely gain huge profits. Yeah, then you have to look at reality, and the odds of that happening is really slim to none. So he had figured that even if he broke a few laws, he would be able to pay everything back before too long and pretend the whole thing had never happened. That's never how it works. This might have lessened his resistance towards breaking a couple laws. It's just a couple laws. Oh, how much time are you looking at? About 40 years. What? And now Kenzo's death, the worst possible thing had occurred. And they wouldn't be able to keep it all hidden for long. We're fucked. Just like the business ventures. Oh. Not until immediately rolls her eyes. Actually, right now it would be like high density residential housing, especially in like Japan during this time, because I don't know if they had that many high density residential, like, you know, apartments and shit like that. I don't know if they had that many right then. So investing in it now, oh, you would get massive payoffs. I don't know about business, high density business, I don't know. That's what you say about everything, Kraus. Probably. We get a whole $10 profit. Yeah, it needs to pay off now. I'm gonna start money laundering. Fuck. Was he trying to make money appear out of thin air? As Cross roared and clutched at his head, he writhed as if in pain. As she watched, several emotions swirled about Natsue's chest. Her emotions conflicted as she felt pity for her husband, but she also felt he was a fool. God damn it, I really married an idiot. Oh, God. No wonder Jessica struggles in school. And she felt a mixture of resentment and regret towards her own inability in letting her husband run wild for so long. Yeah, she probably should have reined him in and slapped the shit out of him once the first one fell through. Even if this day hadn't come, it would have been clear that they were in a very critical situation. And yet he had carelessly waited for this moment to come. And was now writhing about it. Her husband was so foolish and pitiful. It would be easy to let herself get fed up with this. However, she was his wife. For a wife to ridicule her husband as a fool would run in conflict with her responsibilities. Yeah, but sometimes you need to talk some sense into him. Let's be real here. If he was a fool, then she would have to support him to compensate. If he was a fool, I have to be fucking smart enough for the two of us. However, she didn't have a clue what she should do. Since there has been such a massive amount of money within arm's reach, it was only natural that Krause had tried to dip his hands into it. It's always a trap. It would also be easy to tell him to be a man and give up on all of it. But that would run in conflict with the responsibilities. No, that's what I'd tell him. Get the fuck over yourself. Fucking sack up and take the fucking loss. You lost. That's it, buddy. Some people can ride a horse, some people can't. You can't. She was Ushirimiya Natsue, the woman who had become Cross's wife and sworn to protect him, the new head of the Ushirimiya family for her whole life. So she had somehow helped her husband in efforts to raise money. She understood it logically, but she couldn't surpass the indescribable dejected feeling that seemed to rise up from the dark depths of her heart. No, it's definitely reasonable. Hey, I know where it is, probably. 90% sure that I know where it is. I could tell you, but I'm not going to. Yeah, that's also part of the Ushirimiya family's wealth, though, and you need to split that up. Again, another just get-rich-quick scheme. I mean, come on. And just because it might be out there, it doesn't mean that you will get it, though. You can't just rely on something that's not guaranteed. Start solving it. It definitely is on this island. The hell are you doing to her? Cross acting as excited as if he'd thought up a brilliant plan, grasped Natsue's upper arms tightly. Natsue couldn't help but be dumbfounded. She wasn't just taken aback because he'd heard something as fake-sounding as hidden gold brought up. Girls usually disparaged the story of the hidden gold, saying that it didn't exist and that it was all an illusion his father had created to borrow a lot of money. Because of this, Natsue's doubly taken aback. Yeah, okay. Again, you can't just rely on this. It's so uncertain. I mean, it's nice to think about, but you gotta get out of the situation or it's just gonna happen again. getting money isn't gonna get you out of this situation. You'll just end up right back in it if you haven't learned your lesson. I'm good.
家族の危機は家族で乗り越えよう。さあ早く。黄金はこの島にある。すぐ身近にあるんだ。
Unable to withstand the pain in his arms, he was twisted in excitement not to not cross the side. Get the fuck out of here. Cross tripped over the edge of the bed and flopped over onto the floor.
いい加減にしてください。そしてどうか冷静になられてください。後宮家の一大臣、そんな夢みたいなことを言い出してどうするというのですか。
Yeah.
夏日。
She's right.
あなたもよく頭を冷やされて現実的な金策をお考えになってください。私も頭を冷やしてきます。
待ってくれ、夏日。
Maybe he'd come to his senses then, since instant he fell over. Cross tried to tell Natsui to stop, but she kept walking. Also, she did tell you to stop holding on to her, and you kind of just ignored that, so she'd probably be a little pissed because of that too. After closing the door forcefully, Natsui dashed away. Natsui ran through the corridor. Even though she didn't want anyone to see her like this, she ran headlong into Genji. Dick. Fucking bitch, watch where you're going. No, I'm fine. I'm just going for a walk. Okay, bye. Nothing, because we haven't been told to do anything.
そのままにしております。南條先生は客間におられますが。
そうですか。書斎の鍵は持っていますか。
はい、ございます。
お貸しなさい。しばらく私とお父様の二人きりにするように。もし主人に私のことを聞かれても知らないというのですよ。
Get fucked.
かしこまりました。
Whatever. After grabbing the key to the study that Genji was holding out to her, Natsui rushed up the stairs. She then flew into the study and finally let out a wail and cried. Aww.
お父様、愚かな私たちをどうかお許しください。私と主人はお父様の築き上げてきたものを受け継ぐことができます。罪深く愚かな私たちをどうかお許しください。そしてもしお許しいただけるならばどうか愚かな私たちをお導きください。
Clinging to Kenzo as he slapped in the bed, Natsui cried even harder. She kept imagining Kenzo sitting up suddenly and patting her head. No, father isn't the type of person to pamper. What the fuck are you doing? More likely he'd yell at me to stop being so noisy. However, neither of those imaginations came true, because it is an undeniable fact that Kenzo had entered an eternal sleep. But even so, Natsui begged the sleeping Kenzo to forgive and help them. Only a few hours had passed since his passing. Perhaps his soul was still there listening to her. Believing this, Natsui begged for Kenzo's forgiveness and help even more earnestly. Oh god, she's crazy.